Ethan Hawthorne suffered from severe bipolar disorder, and I was his emotional anchor. Everyone around us knew he wouldn't lose control and hurt people as long as I was present. He brought me into his social circle, introduced me to his parents, and told others I was his best bro. What he didn't know was the uncontrollable affection I secretly harbored for him. But I knew he was straight. So after college graduation, I vanished without a trace. I hung up on Ethan's call again. Several days into the new semester, he must have realized I never showed up for registration. He'd been blowing up my phone constantly, but I couldn't muster the courage to answer. I could practically see him raging on the other end. After all, we'd promised to pursue graduate studies at our alma mater together. Yet I'd secretly changed my application to Sichuan University. With his resources, he'd probably discovered I never even applied to our original school. Right after I declined the call, Ethan's messages on a messaging app exploded multiple 60-second voice notes. I played the last one. His vicious voice snarled, "Connor Sullivan, you dare play me? You better tell me where you are right now if you want a merciful death. Keep ignoring my calls and texts, and pray I never find you. When I do, you're finished. Call me back now." Ethan had never used that tone with me before. My hands trembled involuntarily as I sent a badass meme. Realizing my mistake, I frantically tried to recall the message, but it was too late. His instant reply came through, words dripping with lethal intent. "Connor, you've got balls to provoke me. Fine. Prepare to die." I first met Ethan during my freshman year when he was a sophomore. That year, my parents' business success allowed me to attend this prestigious Beijing university where every student came from influential families. The Hawthorne family stood atop the social pyramid, their wealth and power unimaginable, their reach omnipotent. What everyone truly feared was young Master Ethan's notorious temper. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder, he channeled his manic energy into extreme sports. Boxing, MMA, street racing, base jumping, but his true passion was street fighting. Before my arrival, he haunted seedy bars, brawling a dozen times weekly. Our paths crossed on a rainy day during freshman orientation. Still recovering from food poisoning, I'd just been released from the hospital. Venturing off campus for dinner, I witnessed a bloodied man tumble out of a bar doorway, begging, "Please, I didn't know she was yours. I'd never have touched her if..." 7 affluent-looking youths surrounded him. The leader lit a cigarette with a gold-plated lighter, his knuckles crusted with dried blood. Through the smoke, his icy detachment chilled me more than the rain. At his nod, bodyguards dragged the weeping man into an alley. Fueled by misguided righteousness, I marched over and challenged, "Ganging up on one guy? Got any shame?" The group fell silent. The leader's stormy gaze locked onto me as I stepped into his personal space, close enough to smell his cedarwood cologne mingled with tobacco. Strangely, his aggression dissolved into bewilderment as our eyes met. I mistook this for intimidation, ready to demand the victim's release. Ethan suddenly grabbed my collar without warning, yanking me so close our faces nearly touched. Instinctively thinking he wanted to fight, I immediately swung a punch at his face. Ethan effortlessly blocked my strikes, twisted my arm behind my back, and pinned me down. Though I'd never had formal training, growing up in rough neighborhoods had hardened my fists through countless street fights. Yet never had I been subdued so completely in mere seconds. My blood ran cold. This guy was a trained fighter. Just as I thought I was done for, Ethan did something utterly bizarre. He pressed his nose against my neck, inhaling deeply like some starved animal. I struggled violently against his iron grip, but he remained immovable. When he finally released me, I clutched my throat and glared. "What the hell? You freak?" His crew watched nervously, clearly expecting him to snap my neck. Yet Ethan seemed amused. He drugged my girlfriend's drink. Was I wrong to beat him? I turned to see the culprit kowtowing frantically. "Please, Ethan, I'll never cross the Hawthorne family again." The title made my stomach drop. I'd picked a fight with mafia royalty. Forcing an awkward smile, I choked out, "My mistake. Sorry, Ethan." He tilted his head, casual as someone discussing dinner plans. "Now how should I punish you for slandering me?" Cold sweat dripped down my temple until someone gently wiped it. Gasps erupted. Since when does Ethan touch people? That rich voice purred in my ear. Be my friend, and we're square. Somehow I ended up with Ethan's number and as his dorm roommate. At Changshu University, where housing tiers mirror social hierarchy, my new money status stuck out like neon in the old money villa district. Only a Hawthorne could override century-old traditions. Being Ethan's friend had perks. Birthdays brought Patek Philippe watches. He flew me to front-row concert seats, introduced me to senators at cocktail parties, and bailed out my parents' failing business. His inner circle whispered I'd tamed the beast. No more bar brawls or chain smoking. My mere presence cooled his notorious temper. The problem? I fell for him. Hard. Can you blame me? Ethan looked sculpted by Michelangelo himself, all sharp angles and wild magnetism that turned heads even in plain white tees. His gym-toned physique put Greek statues to shame. But beyond looks, he could discuss Renaissance art, blockchain trends, or Mongolian throat singing with equal charm. Yet I knew the truth. Through 4 years and countless elegant girlfriends, I remained his human Xanax. When rage darkened those storm cloud eyes, my scent alone soothed the storm. We shared beds platonically, his arms locking me in as breathing steadied. Graduation looms. Tonight, as he nuzzles my neck after another society gala, I finally understand addicts. This toxic comfort burns brighter than any fleeting romance. Let them keep their perfect debutantes. The devil's embrace feels like coming home. He wasn't the lean scholarly type, nor was he particularly masculine. That's why I'd kept my feelings buried deep, though I knew I couldn't bear to watch Ethan get married and start a family. Leaving was inevitable. Hey Connor, why you always glued to your phone lately? Waiting for some girl to text? My roommate Jason elbowed me with a shit-eating grin. Not really. I kept my tone neutral. Jason wasn't buying it. He slung an arm around my neck, applying just enough pressure to be annoying. Come on, Connor. Bill. Who's the lucky lady? Couldn't explain. There was no girl, just this gnawing dread since that last cryptic message from him. Days of radio silence only amplified my anxiety. A sudden commotion at the school gates interrupted my thoughts. Jason, ever the nosy bastard, dragged me toward the growing crowd. By the time we pushed through, security details in black suits had formed a perimeter around a fleet of luxury cars. Holy shit, Jason whistled. This looks like a scene straight out of a mafia romance novel where the Don tracks down his runaway bride. Peering over shoulders, I froze. There in the center car sat Ethan, his aristocratic features twisted with dangerous intensity. The boy I'd known had transformed into something feral in mere days. He hadn't spotted me yet, barking orders to his security team. Remembering his last threat, "You're dead." Connor, I backpedaled violently, elbowing through the crowd. Connor? The hell? Jason's foghorn voice cut through the noise. We're almost through. Wait up. Man. Every hair on my neck stood up. I felt the exact moment Ethan's gaze locked onto me. Before I could escape, a phalanx of bodyguards materialized, penning me in. That voice, cold enough to frost glass, slithered down my spine. Found you, Connor. They escorted me to the armored town car. The door hadn't fully closed before Ethan pounced, pinning me against leather upholstery. The privacy partition rose with discreet efficiency as he buried his face against my throat, inhaling like I was oxygen and he'd been drowning. His lips brushed my pulse point. Still running? He murmured, biting down just hard enough to sting when I squirmed. One large hand imprisoned both my wrists above my head while the other gripped my hip bone painfully. The anger radiating off him felt volcanic, barely contained. Who? He growled against my skin. Was that guy with his paws all over you? His question transported me back to graduation night, to the party where everything changed. I had planned to confess my feelings to Ethan that day. But as I rounded the corner of the hallway, I saw a girl blocking his path. Her face flushed crimson as she gathered courage. Ethan, I like you. Will you be my boyfriend? He remained impassive, his expression detached. I'm sorry. I don't feel the same. Then I heard her ask, is it because of Connor? You haven't dated anyone since Connor transferred here. Do you like him? Hiding behind a pillar, I nervously crumpled the love letter in my trembling hand, holding my breath for Ethan's response. He scoffed derisively, as if hearing a bad joke. Why would I like him? He's a guy. I'm not gay. Yet now, his first question wasn't about why I secretly changed college applications, but carried jealous undertones as he demanded, "What's your relationship with Jason?" My hidden emotions surged. Could he possibly feel something too? Maybe even he hadn't realized it yet. Though I knew this was wishful thinking, the mere possibility made my heart race uncontrollably. The urge to confess overwhelmed me. Locking eyes with him, I tested the waters. "Aren't you going to ask why I changed schools?" His face darkened. "You dare ask? Explain yourself." "I did it because I love you," I declared, gaze burning. "I couldn't bear watching you date others." He studied me for what seemed an eternity before smirking. "Connor, you absolute moron. You think this joke excuses your deception? It's not a joke." Suddenly he leaned in, forearm caging me against the car window. His breath tickled my lips as he drawled, "Prove it then." "How?" Arching an eyebrow, he tapped his mouth. "Kiss me." My mind went blank. "What? Scared? Mister, I love you?" His laughter vibrated against me, staring at his parted lips. I thought, he wants this. Doesn't that mean? Before he finished taunting, I pressed my mouth to his. He froze momentarily but didn't pull away. Emboldened, I closed my eyes and deepened the kiss, drowning in his sweetness. A violent shove slammed me against the door. White-hot pain shot through my back as I opened my eyes to see Ethan furiously wiping his lips. "Disgusting," he spat. The world tilted. I trembled wordlessly as he barked at the driver. "Stop the car. Get out," he roared. I stumbled onto the curb. The luxury sedan screeched away like an escaping plague. He'd never been this enraged. Of course. Who'd accept their best friend's perverted crush? How delusional I'd been, mistaking mockery for affection. Someone like Ethan belonged with elite socialites. Not, but God, how I loved him. I blinked my moist eyes, trying hard not to let tears fall. There was nothing worth crying about. The next second, my composure completely shattered. I'd left my phone in the car. Now I was truly beyond tears. Walking back to campus in these ruined shoes would be impossible. Sniffling, I decided to save my energy for the trek, resolving to cry later. After 10 minutes of trudging, a black Maybach pulled up ahead. The tinted window rolled down to reveal Ethan's chauffeur. "Connor." He nodded politely. "Let me drive you back." "Did Ethan send you?" I asked hoarsely. At his confirmation, I laughed bitterly. If only he'd been crueler, maybe I wouldn't cling to this hopeless affection. Yet he kept dangling hope whenever I tried to move on, hinting I was special before ruthlessly crushing every shred of courage I'd gathered. The chauffeur handed me my phone from the back seat, attempting consolation. "Don't take it too hard, Connor. Ethan's anger won't last. You've always been different to him. When we were kids, his parents were never around. That mentally unstable nanny." He trailed off, then continued quietly. "The abuse made him volatile, but you've mellowed him. Even his doctors noticed improvement. He's just upset about the college deception. He didn't know about the car incident." Still assuming Ethan was angry about my university choice. Sighing, I corrected him. "It's worse. I crossed a line." The chauffeur chuckled. "Whatever it is, he'll forgive you. You're practically family second only to his future wife." Couldn't I be first? The whisper slipped out, but his sharp ears caught it. "You're overstepping," he warned. "Even best friends don't sleep between husbands and wives. You're not some drama series mother-in-law." When we reached campus, Jason waited at the gates. His eyes widened at my pallor. "You okay?" His rare perceptiveness surfaced as he took in my disheveled state. "Did you get rejected?" Our locked gazes confirmed mutual understanding. He clapped my shoulder. "Cheer up. I once kissed my uncle, no blood relation. He called me disgusting." I choked. His comfort needed work. "Let's drink," Jason offered. As we walked, he suddenly asked, "Top or bottom?" "Top," he snorted. "With those Bambi legs and that ass? Please, you're clearly a bottom." Fuck you. And you? Bottom. We both stared at his linebacker build. He's a top. He grumbled. Our shared silence spoke volumes. Two fools counting chickens before they hatched. However, none of us noticed that our conversation had been overheard by several girls behind us. The next day, a post titled, "First-year finance grad student goes bottom for love," went viral online. When I woke up, Jason had already forwarded the post to me. While the content described our conversation from yesterday, they'd completely mistaken our roles. People assumed Jason and I were a couple, believing he'd become the bottom for my sake. I scrolled through the comments frowny face. Who's shipping this new CP? Jacked power bottom and a squishy short top? At this point, I'm so starved I'll take anything. LMAO, they're kinda perfect though. But can we switch their positions? OMG, he's so gone for him. I'm deceased. Turning bottom for love? Iconic behavior. Peeking through my bed curtains at Jason grinning like an idiot below, I asked, should we clarify things? Jason shook his head vehemently. No way. My uncle just called me furious about this. Ethan never loses his cool. But he was practically yelling. Total jealousy. He looked up at me with puppy dog eyes. Dude, help me out here. This could also help you test if he's really not into you. No testing needed. I already knew Ethan didn't feel that way. I'd never delude myself again. But maybe Jason could succeed where I failed. I shrugged. Whatever. The post only trended until noon. By afternoon classes ended. It had been scrubbed from search. As I tried alternative keywords, Kevin called, Connor, can you talk some sense into Ethan? He's been in a foul mood since yesterday. Saw something this morning that made him storm out. Now he's drowning himself at the bar. He'll listen to you. What could I say? I'm the one who lit that fuse. My voice alone might detonate him. Choosing words carefully, I said, now's not really. Connor, who are you talking to? We agreed to shower together. Jason's voice boomed. A glass-shattering crash came through the phone before the line went dead. My chest tightened. He really did hate me now. Even hearing me provoked that reaction. Pocketing my phone, I glared at Jason. Why'd you say shower together? We meant separate showers in our dorm. Snickers around us made me clamp my mouth shut. This explanation wasn't helping. I dragged Jason away. The following days passed routinely. Meals, sleep, research, typical grad student life. Ethan stopped all contact. Jason's relationship with his uncle imploded too. He went on a blind date. Jason slurred against me, drunk and heartbroken. How could that player date girls? If he wants to be toxic, he should be toxic with me. Ask me. He suddenly turned, eyes glazed. Do you like me? Do you? Knowing he mistook me for Ethan, I played along, patting his back. Of course, I like Jay best. My favorite person worldwide. His face lit up. Really? Favorite, me? I nodded. Like you too, uncle. He mumbled, collapsing against me. As I guided Jason toward campus, a familiar silhouette flickered in the distance. Gone before I could focus. Though barely glimpsed, the figure radiated sadness? I almost chased it when Jason vomited everywhere, demanding cleanup. Only when finally in bed did it hit me. That retreating back looked exactly like Ethan's. I shook my head immediately, feeling ridiculous. Why would he come looking for me? He'd rather stay as far away from me as possible. Later, I heard Ethan had gone abroad, reportedly because his bipolar disorder had worsened and he needed overseas treatment. His mother visited me several times, asking for some of my clothes, claiming they could help with Ethan's condition. Guilt consumed me. If I hadn't kissed Ethan that day, his illness might not have escalated. Eventually, I started mailing my clothes directly to his overseas address until his condition improved. 6 years later. Shao, he frowned anxiously. Director Connor, the acquisition's been finalized, but there's still no news about the new CEO. Are we all getting laid off? What if the new boss turns out to be some micromanaging control freak? I forced a reassuring smile. The company hasn't announced any layoffs. Let's stay focused and greet our new CEO properly when he arrives. Our office chat pinged simultaneously with the notification. New CEO arriving at marketing department. The elevator doors chimed open as executives flanked a sharply tailored man. His piercing gaze and ice-cold demeanor radiated authority far beyond what I remembered from 6 years ago. I froze, staring at the familiar stranger until he tugged my sleeve. Collecting myself, I approached with professional calm. "Welcome, sir." Ethan's eyes swept over me without recognition, offering only a curt nod before resuming discussions with shareholders. His brief visit left me torn between relief and melancholy, though at least my job seemed secure. No sooner had I settled at my desk than another notification flashed. Marketing Director Connor Sullivan report to CEO's office immediately. He eyed me nervously. "Did you piss off the new big boss already?" I managed a strained laugh. "Don't be ridiculous. If only our history were that simple. The man probably wanted to strangle me with his own hands. That seemingly composed gentleman actually had a history of forced kisses and broken promises." Ethan lounged in the executive chair, his gaze locking onto me the moment I entered. Something dangerous simmered beneath his controlled exterior as I forced another polished smile. "You wanted to see me, Mr. Hawthorne?" His jaw tightened at the formal address. "Return it." "Return what?" My confusion only darkened his expression. Suddenly he was across the room, pinning me against the office couch with both wrists trapped above my head. His thumb traced my lips with terrifying gentleness. "The kiss you stole 8 years ago. I want it back." Before I could protest, his mouth crashed against mine in ruthless possession. When he finally released me, oxygen-starved and trembling, he studied my swollen lips with dark satisfaction. "Didn't your ex-boyfriend teach you how to kiss properly?" "What ex?" The words barely escaped before his grip tightened painfully on my chin. "Liar," I hissed through gritted teeth, tears pooling in my eyes. "I'm telling the truth. I've never had a boyfriend before." Ethan studied me with that infuriating half-smile. 6 years ago, I came to see you. I heard you tell Jason you loved him, that he was your whole world. You even called him Jay." The memory of that familiar silhouette suddenly clicked. So he'd really been there. "Why did you come looking for me?" He buried his face in the crook of my neck, inhaling deeply. "I didn't understand my feelings then, but seeing you with someone else, I lost control." His fingers traced my collarbone. "I brought chains that day, planned to lock you away where you'd only see me, only speak to me, where every breath you took would be mine." His palm slid up to cradle my throat. "Know what I thought when I heard you confess to him? That this mouth-claiming love so easily deserved to lose its tongue." Goosebumps erupted across my skin. He wiped the sweat from my temple with startling tenderness. "Terrifying, isn't it? That's why I went overseas for treatment. The doctors said it was hopeless, until I heard Jason moved on." "Connor." His lips brushed my earlobe. "I've made mistakes. Let me make it right." The raw need in his voice shattered me. My thoughts spiraled. This wasn't happening. "Ethan, you're straight." I grabbed his hand and pressed it against my flat chest. "We're the same. You can't want this." His fingers dipped below my waistband. "Want." The single word vibrated against my pulse point. "I want." Some deranged part of me blurted. "Come over for ramen tonight." Back in my office, I nearly tore out my hair. Ramen? What alcoholic brainworm made me say that? I could still feel his heat at my back hours later as he helped finish my reports, his chin hooked over my shoulder. By 9 p.m., we stood in a convenience store aisle. The clerk smirked as Ethan plucked a box of condoms from the shelf. "Extra large," he announced like he was ordering coffee. "Wouldn't want to disappoint. Have you thought about what you want to use?" I cringed with second-hand embarrassment. Whatever, you decide." The Hawthorne family was an untouchable powerhouse, their influence vast and their reputation intimidating enough that no one dared cross them. At 10 o'clock, he threatened to join me in the shower if I didn't hurry up. By 10:15, he'd finished bathing and was blow-drying my hair. At 10:25, he pinned me to the bed. Watching his frantic movements, I kept thinking he'd recoil if he saw my body. The thought looped in my mind until morning light found me still weeping. Awake. Ethan entered carrying pear soup, the porcelain bowl steaming. I blinked at the man framed in the doorway, raising my heavy hand in weak protest. He obediently leaned his cheek into my palm. accepting the feeble slap. Try this again and I'll slap your face off. His satisfied grin widened. Does that mean you forgive me? Forgive? There was nothing to forgive. Ethan hadn't done anything wrong. Back then he'd been painfully straight, his initial reaction understandable. Until yesterday, I'd braced for the worst. Awkward fumbling followed by, I can't do this. Then permanent separation. But he seemed genuinely unfazed that I'm male. Seemed to genuinely want me. So why was I hesitating? This was the same person I'd loved since we were teenagers. Ethan. 5 centimeters. My ring finger size. His lips found mine in a swift, elated kiss. I know. Measured while you slept.